Hello and welcome to the programme. Now, a new social project called in English Community of the Future has been presented here in Kyiv. The project will help solve the problem of providing housing for war veterans, internally displaced people and other vulnerable social groups in Ukraine. Now, I'm pleased to say to talk more about this project, we are joined in the studio by Bohdan Horban, a lawyer and member of the civic initiative Community of the Future. Hi Bohdan, thanks for coming in to our studio today.
Good evening, good evening.
So this sounds like an exciting project. Can you firstly give our viewers perhaps for 30 seconds, 1 minute, what this project is about?
So our project that calls on Ukrainian Hromady maybutn'ogo is that first building project of that type. So our project is completely innovative, and I can say it's for the whole world, but in Ukraine is the first project that of that type. We offer construction of the settlement with workplaces, social infrastructure, playgrounds. We will be able to immediately solve the housing problems of Ukrainians and create workplaces, create jobs for combatants, for internally displaced persons from Donbass. Also, we can share our technology with everyone who want to build villages like us. And in perspective, after 20 or 30 years, I can say that that the problem of durable housing will be resolved in Ukraine.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, perhaps for our viewers who come to Ukraine often, they see that in the centre, not just in the centre, but in the suburbs of Kyiv, certainly there are a lot of building projects happening right now, a lot of new residential complexes, and the city is really just expanding and expanding. So how does your project help war veterans and internally displaced? Is there too much demand for housing, or is it the housing itself that's the problem?
So our project is social project. You should understand that social project at first it for a socialization for our war veterans after the war on East. For our internally displaced persons, of course, and they can work in this village, they can live in this village for free.
So, do you have a model? Are there any other models around the world? I mean, the first thing that springs to mind is a kibbutz in Israel, almost where people work and they live in the same place.
I don't know. I really don't know. In all the world, I can say that we have project like that or not, but our project is innovative in Ukraine, so we have a lot of problems with it, because innovation in Ukraine have a lot of problems. At first, it is legalization, so legislation, I'm sorry, legislation, because legislation has a lot of collisions. We have private our land.
You have private land that you're building on?
Yes, on 9 hectares. But government can't give us money for build this house because legislation prohibits investing in private lands.
Ah, I see. Okay, because there are, as far as I'm aware, state builders who are involved in building housing and that sort of thing. But tell me a bit more about the innovative aspect of your project and in terms of energy efficiency, in terms of the jobs. Tell us a bit more about that.
So jobs for our livers of our village will be on Earth. It is a modern, innovative instrument to grow up some cultures of tomatoes, of flowers, a lot of cultures.
So are you trying to make it self-sufficient? Are you trying to use and harness the power of renewable energy to operate these
agriculture village with sun power, so solar system will be with wind power, so it will have absolutely environment friendly system to provide.
And often for war veterans who come back from the Donbass or internally displaced people, it's the price of housing that really is a challenge. So with this project,
Yes.
How does that work? Is it more affordable, or are you looking for subsidies, or how does that work?
So our community, so registration in our community will be like email registration for the first stage. When we confirm and when we confirm with our members of parliament our project, we will take money for make some project, and after building we will create an email registration. So when we will finish first stage with legislation, I think we can create a new transparency.
But so there'll be a waiting list then of people?
Yes, waiting list. So of course, waiting list.
But what about the cost? I mean, how much would people have to pay? And is it significantly
It is
less?
free. Free.
Completely free?
Completely free, because because we will take money from non-government organization from all over the world. We signed it. Signed a memorandum with Organization of United Nations. They support us a lot.
Yeah.
But we consent that our parliament support us. So it is the first and our main task for now is to talk with our parliament, talk with our state leaderships, to grow our support and solve this problem.
Yeah, and I can imagine that with this sort of social project, there's going to be huge demand for it. Are you ready for the huge demand? I mean, do you have any calculations about how many housing facilities you would need, for example?
On 9 hectares that we have, can live about 8,000 people. So at the first project will live 8,000 people, and they will have workplaces, school, kindergartens, and etc.
And sorry, what about the work? I mean, I'm interested because if the social housing is free, there must be some sort of terms and conditions to this, you could say. So people have to work on the premises. Is there anything else?
Yes, work, but about documents that we will have on registration, I think candidates will send us document. Will be passport, of course, passport of Ukraine, of citizen of Ukraine, and also, for example, for internally displaced persons, they should send us certificates that prove that part of people is internally displaced person or family with many children.
Ah, okay.
So they should prove it.
Because it must be difficult for you to prioritize.
Yes.
Because it can't just be a waiting list of who gets there first.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a project for 8 million people. In Ukrainian, we have 8 million people without their own houses. And why we make accent on internally displaced persons? Because they need socialization in new community, in other part of Ukraine.
Yeah, because I can imagine that's actually probably one of the most difficult things. If you are a war veteran who's returning back to, say, the suburbs of Kyiv, or you're an internally displaced person, you have to get used to the new surroundings and get used to the new community, the new way of life. You know?
Yes, about veterans, we will give them psychology support.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great idea.
And they will work in school, I think. They will work like a coach of football team. They will work like guys from normal life. We can support them because it is very hard to take back after the war.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming into our studio today, and best of luck with your project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, goodbye.
That was Bohdan Horban, a lawyer and member of the Civic Initiative Community of the Future. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more here on UATV.